money, money, money. Money, 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 money. Zaga. Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is DEBBIE, the Phoenix. Today we will be unveiling, yes, yet another segment, and it's called Manchankura 101. Because you know, what's life without money, right? Life is money and money is life. I'm sorry, it had to be said. There's this phrase that I hate, which says money can buy you happiness, and I'm like, child, money can buy me happiness, but money can buy me a G63, money can buy me my dream mansion, money can buy me a vacation, money can buy me my townhouse, money can buy me my beach house, money can buy me my condo in Paris. So in reality, money can buy me happiness. See? So let's talk money, guys. Money is such a sensitive topic, especially in our culture, especially in society. As Africans, we hate it, talking about it. Nobody wants to detail anything about that finances. Everybody feels like it's supposed to be this big secret, and that's the main reason why so many of us are in financial ruin, because we don't talk about our money. Nobody wants to talk about that money. Everybody feels like, ooh, I need to keep it a secret, because if this person knows how much I'm making and that person knows how much... Lord, help us. Listen, nobody cares. Somebody had to say, nobody cares. Nobody cares, okay? Nobody cares. Well, you know why I'm saying nobody cares? Nobody cares about what's in your account, because the people who are going to ask for money are going to ask for money anyway. Whether you're a student who's getting an allowance, or a student who's self-sponsored, or a working person who's getting the minimum wage, or a person who's getting 30K, the truth is our uncles in the village, when we come from Gaborone, they're always going to ask for money. So at the end of the day, nobody really cares how much you have in your account. People just want what they want when they want it, and that's on that. But what you need to be safeguarding is your relationship with money. It need not be a toxic one. And this is coming from the queen of toxicity when it comes to relationship with money. Guys, I used to be very abusive to my finances. Oh my god, I still am sometimes. We're keeping it real, right? Yeah. So what I've learned over the years is that money is like any other thing that you value in life. In as much as you value your house, you value your car, you value your children, you value your parents, you value your friends, you value your partner. Value money, guys. Value money. And valuing money means, one, make time for money. Two, plan for money. People plan their kids. Most people plan their families. Most people plan when they're gonna marry their partners. Most people plan every aspect of their lives except the money part. And that's sad. Now, as I've said before in my Journey with Debs episode 1, which was talking about depression and its triggers, I did mention that I have 2 main triggers, and one of which is finances. If I feel like I'm failing in any shape, way, or form with my finances, I immediately go into this deep depression episode. And that is why, and that's the one thing that I think after noticing that is one of my biggest triggers, I started facing my fears in terms of planning for money. That is why today we're going to talk about budgeting. Yes, nobody likes budgets. Everybody just wants to be, looking at that text message when it comes in, your favorite institution being your bank, that you've been credited some chankuras, and now you just want to go on a shopping spree and all of that. Now today, I'm going to share a couple of tips that I've learned along the way, and a couple of lessons that I've been taught by people who have lived a little bit longer than I have, and people who are a little bit wealthy. So anyway, We're going to talk about budgets, and I don't want it to be this rigid discussion where you feel like you're forced to have a budget and whatever. But one thing I can tell you is that if you're like me and one of your triggers is finances, failure in the finance aspect of your life, then you better get a hold of it, because you can't afford to always be depressed. That's the other thing. You can't afford to always be depressed. And if you can control your triggers, then you can control your depression. I know that depression is not like a switch that you switch on or off, or you choose when you're going to have an episode or not. But sometimes there are certain triggers that you can actually avoid. And if you're like me and one of your triggers is finances, then you can actually avoid episodes which are caused by failure in your finances. How do you do? First and foremost, budget for your money. Growing up, I was raised by my grandmother, who was basically raising us off of, because when I was growing up, she was already old and she had retired from her teaching job. So she was just like basically a businesswoman. And she used to say to me, which basically means that you can't budget on what you are expecting from other people that is not an obligation to them. Let me give you an example. You can budget based off of your allowance from DTF or whoever is sponsoring your schooling. You can budget off of your salary from your employer, because you have a contractual agreement with them that every month at a certain date, they would credit your account with a certain amount. So you can budget on these ones. What you cannot budget on is if a random person like Lapo, or if you had a birthday mid-month and then Lapo says to you, oh no, I'll give you 500 for your present month end. Listen, Lapo can come around and be like, dog, I had some situations and I can't give you that 500. So now you see you've budgeted on a 500 that was not guaranteed. It wasn't an obligation. You know what I'm saying? So budgets. The first thing that you need to learn about budgeting is that you budget on money that you are sure of. That's number one. Number two, and this is the mistake that people make. I mean, we're always taught save first, spend later. And my thing is, we're living lives where the cost of living is super high and you can't avoid paying your bills. You just cannot. You know what I'm saying? So this is how I do it. When I first started budgeting, what I did is I sat down and I wrote down the list of all the things which are necessities. Everything that was a necessity, I wrote it down. And then from there, I saw how much it came down to. And then after that, that's when I went to the top, which is the income. And I said, okay, based off of my income and based off of my calculation of all the necessities that I have on average in a month, this is the surplus that I'm left with. And then from there, I was like, okay, from this surplus, now I can say, let me save this much every month. And then from there, whatever surplus I had, I could say, okay, let me take maybe $200 for entertainment for the month, right? And then from there, whatever surplus was left, I could be like, okay, this one will just be what I call sitting duck money. You know, money that, like, you don't want a situation where you've spent all your money and then the rest of the money you saved it, and now during the month you literally have no money for allowance for stuff which just randomly happens. Like, for instance, this past month I've been going to the doctor a lot, and yes, I do have medical aid, but I still had to pay for little things like the 10% that I have to pay for, and the vet, and this and that. You need money for those little things that are uncertain. You know what I'm saying? So don't do a rigid budget. That's rule number one of budgeting. Do not do a rigid budget, because it's going to frustrate you and it's going to be the cause of your depression. No rigid budgets, yeah. Number two, make sure that all your necessities are covered. Don't force yourself to save money that you do not have. You will die. You will die of depression. Please don't do that. Stop trying to force. Just because Debbie is saving, say, 2,000 per month, now you are thinking, wait, that's what an average 25-year-old is supposed to be saving. No. Do you have 2,000 a month after deducting your necessities to save? Because now you go to your bank and say, oh, make a stop order for 2,000 per month, and then they take the 2,000 every month at a certain date. After that, you are left with not enough to cover the necessities even. You don't want to live life like that, please. That's rule number 2. Rule number 1, no rigid budgets. Rule number 2, save money that you have. Do not save money that you don't have. Do not save money that you wish you had. You are going to die. You will die. You will die, honestly. Like, stop killing yourself like that. That's rule number 2. Rule number 3. Now, this one is important. It has a lot to do with borrowing. How borrowing fits into your budget. Because you know how sometimes mid-month something happens back home. Maybe say your grandma or your aunt or your mom or whoever is your parent calls you on some, hey, we need money for this, this and that. At that time, it's mid-month. You are 10 days away from payday. And then you go to your cousin on some, yo, dog, can I hold 500? Okay. Make sure that your budget is flexible enough to account for that 500 that month end. What do I mean by this? Remember earlier when I mentioned entertainment money and sitting duck money? That's where it comes in now. If you've had an unfortunate circumstance that you had to handle mid-month that you did not budget for, you use things like entertainment allowance, because you don't really, it's not a necessity. Like, you won't die from sitting at home for 4 weekends. Nobody has died from that. Please, guys, stop making it a big deal. It's not that much of a big deal. So you use your sitting duck money and your entertainment allowance to try to move things around to make sure that you pay back the money that you borrowed from your cousin. Stop letting debts pile up, because do you know what they do? They give you stress. Have you ever been stressed from thinking about paying somebody? Not them coming to you saying, I want my money, but you just thinking, I owe this person. Don't do that. Try as much as possible. I know it's not always possible, but try as much as possible to pay money that you've borrowed on the day that you said you will pay it back on. Right. Let's go for a little break. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. And before the little break, we were on 3 rules. I had given you guys 3 rules. So now let's go to rule number 4. Rule number 4, stop getting excited over surplus. Stop getting excited over surplus. What you want to do with the surplus that you did not expect is, remember how I mentioned sitting duck money? Budget for sitting duck money also. Don't let sitting duck money be just any surplus that's in your account. No, you can say, okay, for sitting duck money, I can have 1.5. Looking at your lifestyle and like the circumstances that you incur. So sitting duck money can be whatever amount you want it to be. You can also budget for it. And then let's say you had a surplus of like $500 that month, right? You can take that $500 and put it in your savings, or you can take it and go buy an investment like a unit trust, or you can take it and then, I don't know, do whatever, but do something that's going to make you money. What you want to do with money is for money to work for you and not the other way around. That's how you don't let money stress you. When money works for you, no stress. You won't have stress. What is stress? What is stress? You'll be asking. You wouldn't know, right? So that's rule number 4. Budget for sitting duck money. Don't get overexcited over surplus, because what is a surplus this month could be exactly what you need in Feb. You see, now you took that 500 plus surplus and you're like, oh no, it's surplus money. Hey, huh? And now when the Bible says he holds us in the palm of his hand, so which other part is there that you use when you give somebody something? Please don't play God like that, okay? When God gives you 500 pula, you better use it to make sure that it's there for a rainy day, right? And then you have rule number 5. Now, rule number 5 is the rule that nobody wants to talk about, or think about rather. It's the emergency fund rule. So you can have different types of savings. Let's say you have a goal to buy a car. You can have car savings. You can have motello savings. You can have vacation savings. You can have emergency fund savings. I know this one people don't like it because it feels like it's not attached to anything. It feels like you're just depriving yourself of using your money just because you think that something bad is going to happen or whatever. And also, if you don't want to be that person, what you can do is you can take out insurances. Okay? If you feel like, just saving, you can take out insurances, because some people, the emergency fund, they use it to bury their loved ones. Some people, the emergency fund, they use it to buy material when the money that they have saved up for a house finishes before the project is done. You can use that's the fun thing about emergency funds. You can use your emergency fund for just about anything. So when you are saving, please make sure that a portion of that goes to that. Now, I'm not saying you should save 5,000 per month because you have 5 things to save for. No. You can demarcate your 2,000 between these if 2,000 is all you have to save, because remember, you don't want to oversave and then live a life which doesn't make sense, where you're always stranded for money. You know what I'm saying? So guys, those are my 5 rules. So I've given you guys 5 rules that I'm just gonna reiterate right now before I say bye to you. So rule number 1 that we had is no rigid budgets. Please don't make rigid budgets. Rigid budgets are not to be made by you young people. Please, I beg you. Charlie, I'm begging you. I know I'm sitting down, but imagine me on my knees, just begging you. I'm begging you, do not have rigid budgets. You don't want to do that to yourself. It's going to frustrate you. Rule number 2, make sure that you budget for your savings. Save money that you actually have. Hey guys, this one frustrates me the most, because most people, especially most young people that I know, literally, are living very low quality lives because they're over saving. But over saving does not automatically translate to you having less expenses. No, and nobody cares for whatever you're saving. Like, you think your landlord cares that you've increased your savings by 500 pula, so now you don't have 500 pula extra to give them to cover the whole rent? No. Rent is still going to be whatever amount it is. Okay? Rule number 3, budget for your sitting duck money. I mentioned that you need to have sitting duck money to ensure that you're living a quality life. Have sitting duck money, because sitting duck money is the money that you use for circumstances or situations which happen which you did not budget for. And this is life that we're living. You always encounter something that you did not think would happen. That's that. And then rule number 4, you want to stop getting excited over surplus. Stop it. Stop it. Stop doing that. Stop doing that to yourself, guys. It's not cute. Nobody likes it. You know, stop getting excited over surplus, you know. Oh my god, I've forgotten my own rules.